Okay, today we are playing a game on VoD. The average SR of this game was 3,206, and we will be playing Mercy the entire way through. And yes, you are allowed to be excited today. It's new Mercy, not old Mercy for once. And our current team composition is Orisa, Roadhog, Genji, Junkrat, Mercy, and Ana. So, if they have a Pharah, boy, are we going to be sad about that one. Also, kind of note that we have a Mercy and Ana on the same team. You don't generally want to have two main healers. I mean, it's difficult to say, like, too much healing is a bad thing. But, if you have Mercy and Ana, you sort of lack the utility that Lucio or Zenyatta give, which is, the ability to kill people fast. And Mercy and Ana can sort of step on each other's toes and make it difficult for, like, both of you to charge your ultimates. It can be that there's too much healing, but it's also kind of hard to say you have too much healing at the same time, Anyway, so let's start the game. So we're defending on VoD right now. This first point doesn't go spectacularly, I'll say. It could go better. There was some room for improvement overall, I'd say. So, they have a Pharah, and we're sad about that, because we have basically nothing that can deal with a Pharah. We have the opportunity to res, but if we did res somebody, they'd probably just die shortly afterwards in that position. And, just end up feeding them ult, so best not to res, probably. So I think this is something that, people have yet to learn with the new Mercy, and that is just because you can, doesn't mean you should. So, we have a McCree now. Genji's changed to McCree, so we have something that can kill Pharah. They also have Sombra and Tracer, so glad to have, something that can deal with those as well. They also have no healer, and yet we still got rolled over at the first point, so, But that does happen if they pick off enough people quickly enough, so. We got back in time to res, Junkrat. McCree died shortly afterwards. There is sort of, like, some prioritization with who you want to res these days, I think. This doesn't really have much bearing here, but if we had the choice of resing a Junkrat or a McCree, I would take the McCree most days. Again, well, especially like against a team that's got like a Pharah and such on it, We didn't actually get a choice, but, the prioritization can sometimes come into it now with New Mercy. It's something to think about. So, we're hanging back really far. There's Tracer. She stuck someone. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's fixed again. No picks happened today. And that's, this is the thing with New Mercy, is that, that kind of utility, to just be like, yeah, you know what? You picked somebody off, and you used an ultimate to do it. I just used the basic ability, and now they're alive again. It's not really okay, is it? But, well, that's a discussion for another time. So we haven't really seen the enemy team that much lately, so we haven't really had to worry about it for a while. McCree's over here, wants healing. I think there's an argument to be made for not resing the Roadhog here, because we haven't seen the enemy team in a while, so we know that they are probably all hanging out in the castle. So, and Roadhog's kind of a big, easy-to-kill guy if placed in a bad situation, so given we don't know exactly what's going on in the castle, there's the possibility that you res him, and he just immediately dies again right after. And that's pretty terrible to res Roadhog just for him to die, because that's 600 extra HP of ult charge they got. But probably correct to res him most of the time, but, it's all. New Mercy is much like Old Mercy in that, talking about resing people is still very, maybe. It's hard to say in absolute terms, but I think there's an argument to be said for not resing him in that situation, just because he might immediately be put in a position where he dies again. So, things are not going super well right now. Change the sound and you're not allowed to push the back button anymore, so I think there's an argument to be made here for using Valkyrie just to reset the res timer on one of these people, because both our DPS are dead, which is going to make it really hard for us to fend off a push in the near future. So, it might be worth using Valkyrie just to revive McCree, or, Junkrat, probably McCree, given the opportunity, because, they're going to respawn before we really get the opportunity to res anyone. And you know, it's not the end of the world to use it just to reset and res one person, seeing as Valkyrie still by itself is really fucking strong. But, you know, we have managed to accidentally dodge being emped, which is cool. Of course, if we did use Valkyrie, we know in hindsight, if we used Valkyrie earlier, we would have probably just gotten emped anyway, so it wouldn't have really worked out super well. But just a light sprinkling of justice right there. I think this is quite funny. No more. Immediately dead. So we know in hindsight that we would have been emped and thus really sad having used our Valkyrie. Well, I mean, not really sad, because, I mean, it doesn't stop you from being in Valkyrie, but it does, wouldn't be able to res anyone. So, Roadhog died all the way over there. We can't realistically get to him to res him, and even if we did, he'd probably die again anyway, so, I have seen a lot of people playing the new Mercy who go to suicidal lengths to revive somebody. The things with old Mercy are still kind of true with new Mercy, which is like, don't put yourself in a bad position trying to save someone else, because you're worth more than them, frankly. So if, you know, don't put yourself in a dangerous position to try and res people, which is sort of lost on some people, I've noticed. So we're put in an awkward position where, like, our best play to avoid the high noon is just to basically throw ourselves off the edge, because, well, we've kind of got nowhere else to go. We can try and huddle behind the wall, and that might work, but if he just sees your head, you still die. We could call out for somebody to come over quicker, because we have been talking in the voice chat this entire time. We could call for somebody to come over quicker, basically, but that probably also wouldn't have happened given the position the rest of the team was in. Also, seems hard to imagine that fight went particularly well anyway, given how thoroughly basted our team got, basically. So Junkrat tried to use his tire and ran straight into Whole Hog. Reinhardt's trying to charge into Whole Hog, which is not allowed, but he didn't die, so, you know, don't get punished, you don't have to learn. And, yeah, we've been playing Mercy, basically, this entire time, where we've just been really far back, and, for the most part, the enemy team hasn't really had very many opportunities to kill us. So I think there's an argument to be made for not resing Roadhog here, as well, which is, it looks like you're gonna win the fight without him. So there's an argument to be made where, you know, res is a 30-second cooldown, which is a very long time. If you think you can win the fight without reviving the Roadhog, then, you know, it takes him like 15 seconds to get back. That's still 15 seconds extra, like 15 seconds saved off the res in case you need it during that time. And it looks like we can probably win the fight without Roadhog from this position. But also, by the same token, you don't want to be the guy who didn't res the Roadhog and then it turns out, oh fuck, we actually needed Roadhog in the near future. Roadhog basically throws his life away anyway. He does kill like 2 people at the same time, so, yeah. I think we could have won without Roadhog, so I don't think we really needed to res him, and we could save the res cooldown in case we need it for something more urgent in the next 30 seconds, basically. Though at the same time, we were so close to having Valkyrie. Also, again, you know, there's a lot of modifiers to attach to this, isn't there? At the same time, we almost had Valkyrie charged up, so we can always reset the cooldown on res if we do urgently need it in the next 30 seconds. You know, when you talk about Mercy, there's a lot of things to think about, really, isn't there? Yeah, and now, probably more than previously, because Mercy is more actively engaged in the game now. We come over and we res him. Great. The one person that got picked off out of all their ultimates is now alive again, which and then he ends up killing their Pharah and their Mercy, so it was definitely worth it. There's not really that much to say about what we've been doing so far, really. We've basically been playing Mercy the entire time, where no one can really see us, you know? We haven't even really had that many situations where, like, we definitely want to use Valkyrie. We do get, like, a really good example on attack of why Valkyrie is really strong. And, Mercy is basically unkillable during Valkyrie. Like, we will see that on the attacking side of the map. But it's just like, wow, how can you possibly kill Mercy from this position? Oh, look, he picked him off. He's not... Nope. Didn't happen. Look at that. Soldier managed to pick somebody off. Pretty high skill play, you know, to pick somebody off for free before a fight starts. Push a button and undone. This a discussion for another time. Our team has like been out here fighting the whole time, and they shouldn't really be doing that, but they win the fight. So the enemy team is not very good, is basically the moral of this story. I mean, they didn't even have a healer when they started attacking initially, right? So this is another one of those games where the moral of the story is kind of that no matter how high you climb, it doesn't get any better. So we get killed here by random Junkrat shrapnel. We jump backwards into it. Don't jump in the same direction that Junkrat shrapnel's flying. Ooh, what startling advice. Goddamn, I should start paying for these things. No, I should start asking people to pay me, the exact inverse of what I was about to say. I'd rather not pay people to do this, you know, a bit, especially, you know, I don't have that much money, frankly. So we get back in time here. To continue taking part in this fight. We just heard Junkrat start ulting, so the old Mercy instinct kicks in to go and hide. And Junkrat ends up killing the tire, so it never even gets a chance to find us. That's kind of another thing, where, like, Mercy is basically a mandatory pick these days. So, you know, we're gonna go into a brief tangent about balance right here. So, there's this thing where Mercy is basically a mandatory pick, because her utility is, it can't be matched by any other hero in the game. The ability to just undo a pick that happened is unrivaled. And Valkyrie is also really fucking strong, because it's basically 20 seconds of Mercy can't die, and she's just boosting and healing everyone. And then reses more people, of course. And there's just the fact that if you don't have a Mercy, and they have a Mercy, you're just at a disadvantage, because the Mercy can tip the scale of the fight immediately in their favor, and if you don't have a Mercy, you can't tip it back again, right? You need a Mercy, basically, currently, which is not, I don't think that's particularly healthy for the game to have a hero that must be picked, basically. There's this other thing, though, with Junkrat, right? Where Junkrat's tire is really hard to break. And one of the most consistent things for breaking the tire is another Junkrat. Because you throw the mine at it, and the mine is really easy to hit. It does 100 damage. Bam, the tire's gone. So Junkrat is also in this awkward thing where, like, if they have a Junkrat, you kinda wanna have a Junkrat, because he's the person that has the easiest time breaking the tire, right? Because it's so quick and very easy to land also. And, like, you know, McCree's gotta shoot it twice. Reinhardt can fire strike it, but, like, it's not as consistent as just, whoop, gone, you know? So Junkrat also has this awkward thing where, like, it can be, if they have a Junkrat and you don't have a Junkrat, it can be an issue, because then you don't have, like, a super easy way to break the tire, which is a very scary ultimate these days, because it is so very difficult to break now that it moves very quickly. Yeah, it's awkward. There's also this thing where, Anna has struggled for a while, because she got nerfed a bunch of times, so that's gonna eventually take, right? But she doesn't fit particularly well in the meta, because she's very weak to dive comps, which have been quite popular for a while at this point, and, you know, have gone down a little bit, but they still are around. But now there's the thing where, like, you don't really want two main healers on a team, if possible. You, like, want one main healer and one off healer. But as we just established, Mercy is basically a mandatory pick, which basically means Anna in most situations is really bad. Both because, like, she doesn't fit in super well composition-wise, because you already have a Mercy, but also she is likely not that good against the enemy team, seeing as they probably have some element of dive attached to them, you know? It's, balancing video God, I think I might be dying. God. So, the moral of the story is balancing video games is really hard, and I think, Junkrat and Mercy's changes overall were, like, positive for the heroes, because, like, Junkrat was completely useless, right? But now he's, like, pretty good. And Mercy had this really counterintuitive play style, which is that a main healer is encouraged to actively avoid taking part in conflict so that she can come in and swoop in and undo it. Now Mercy is more actively engaged in the game and doesn't encourage this counterintuitive play style, but it's kind of worse in this other way because now she's like basically a mandatory hero with this really unhealthy thing where she can undo a high skill play with a low skill play by just pushing a button on somebody. It's there's really no point to this other than, like, Mercy needs some kind of nerf. Junkrat is, Junkrat's hard, like, he probably has been slightly overbuffed, but I also feel like he exists on such a thin axis where if you tweak him just too far in one direction or the other, he is completely useless or just too strong. I think Junkrat's really difficult. Mercy needs some kind of adjustment. And Anna also needs some kind of adjustment because she's struggled for a while, but it's just kind of been getting worse as time goes by, and now it's pretty much reached its peak. I remember hearing that Anna has, like, the lowest win ratio of all heroes. It was in a particular SR range. I think it was, like, Diamond and above. She has the lowest win ratio of all heroes, which is a far cry from where Anna used to be, right? So, let's stop talking about this and actually, like, talk about the video game that we're playing now. Look, I'm concise points, not interested in those. We can hear, like, tack visor also happening, so we're hiding out of the way. So, but now it's gone, we come in, res him, and we wanna get over there and res him, but, we're floating directly into the Junkrat at the same time. And we're like, oh, GA, why didn't it go off, blah, 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 but, like, you probably might still die for this anyway, because you are just still floating straight into the Junkrat. You can fly now. Go up a little bit so that he can't hit you, and then, like, this doesn't happen. Like, yeah, GA doesn't go off immediately, that sucks, but also, we can see McCree trying to camp the translocator right here, which I always think is kind of funny. Oh, translocator, hold on. The rest of the game doesn't exist right now, because I have to e-bully the Sombra as soon as she appears. Like GA not going off, whatever, okay. But, like, also, if you just float up a little bit, that never happens, because Junkrat can't hit you with his bombs. But we win that round, so it doesn't matter anyway. Their only healer still was Zenyatta. So, and Drakey6 there is like, isn't this fun? Yes, very, thank you. So now we're going to be attacking. Enemy team, they do a little bit better in this round. I mean, it's hard, that's kind of weird to say considering they got it all the way to the third checkpoint, but, like, did we really feel like we were gonna lose? Not especially. So Genji's already dead, but that's okay. We are playing Mercy, we can just get over here and undo that. Great, now that didn't happen anymore. Well, now Tracer's dead, though. Can't res 2 people immediately afterwards. It's still not going that badly, because, like, their Sombra is dead right now. They have a very, cheesy comp. We have walked around the corner right into a trap. We can see it. It's on the ground right there. But also, this is a weird place for a trap to appear. I was surprised when I was watching it through the first time and you stepped on it. I was like, what the fuck? So, happens. Our team helps us survive through the trap, though, so it all works out. We've almost got Valkyrie already. Oh my god. I think I'm actually dying. So we've managed to slide our way through the doorway. We can hear Junkrat's tire below us, so we hang out in the sky, which isn't necessarily a sign of being safe, but is better than being on the ground. And so now we found a way in, and we're in, and we fight. And this is what's really strong about Valkyrie, right? It's like, how do you kill Mercy in this position, right? Like, think about how ridiculous this is. Mercy is about 20 meters away from the fight. That's a bit of an exaggeration. She's really fucking far away from the fight. She's flying. She's hiding near cover also. And her passive is constantly active. How do you kill Mercy in this position, right? And like, yeah, whatever. They lost the team fight really resoundingly, so obviously they weren't gonna win the fight. But just to even imagine that, like, things are relatively even right now. Like, imagine a team fight is happening down there. How do you kill the Mercy still, right? You can't do it, because even if you're fighting down there and, like, the enemy, like, we're still, like, 6v6, look at, like, the position that Mercy is in. It's so hard to kill the Mercy from this position, and that's why Valkyrie's really strong. It's like 20 seconds of Mercy can't die. She's gonna res bare minimum 2 people, but probably 3 or 4 people. Because you can res, reset it, res again, and then you got 2 more over the duration. Like, she's gonna res a lot of people. She's really hard to kill, and suddenly she's like a mini Transcendence, but also she's damage amping everybody as well, but has the option to damage boost everyone at the same time. And if you've then also got a Lucio down there making everybody be fast and, you know, making it easier for people to kill people, damn, Mercy's really strong. I don't necessarily think she's overpowered. I mean, well, that's kind of weird to say, because I just said I think she's a mandatory pick, so that doesn't kind of imply that she's a little overpowered, doesn't it? I don't think it's necessarily that she's overpowered. I think it's just because nobody else does something quite like what Mercy does right now, right? Nobody else can just undo a pick, so like, and then it just so happens that Valkyrie is also really strong as well. So it just compounds itself, really. So I don't think it's necessarily that she's overpowered. I think I think the way Res currently functions is not healthy for the game overall. Just because I don't like the idea that Mercy could, like, you can put in so much work to picking off this one person before a fight, and then Mercy just comes along, pushes a button, and it's undone. And, like, it just makes so many people in the cast so much less consistent. Like, snipers are so much less consistent. Flankers are so much less consistent. Like, a Tracer can use her ultimate and pick off 2 people. And if Mercy undoes it. Like, it just didn't happen anymore. The Tracer could have worked really hard for that. And Mercy just went boop, 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 undone. So, we've started to stall out at this point, and we're still basically just playing Mercy, where we're sitting really far back and rezzing people when given the opportunity. So here we ult just to reset the timer and res Reinhardt, which, you know, I can see myself doing this some days of the week and not doing it other days of the week, but this is a tempo play that ends up paying off in the end because we come in here with like 27 ultimates and, you know, we start pushing the payload again. You know, I can see myself doing that to res the Reinhardt some days of the week and not doing it other days of the week, but like, it's a tempo play, which always has a risk attached to it, and in this situation, the tempo play paid off, because we had so many ultimates we got to roll over them. You know, it's kinda like high risk, high reward. Well, it's not even necessarily high risk, because the risk is like, I use Valkyrie kinda suboptimally, but like Valkyrie's still strong, so it's not the end of the world. We can hear Junkrat's tire, which is why we're doing this right now. Genji is also kind of trying some stuff right now. Reinhardt has managed to kill it with Fire Strike, and, you know, this is unlucky. What else were you ever really gonna do in this situation, you know? And then it just so happens, we Valkyrie directly into the Graviton. Happens sometime. We don't Valkyrie into it, we GA into it. You know, sometimes you GA and right into Roadhog's Hook, or right into Earthshatter, or, you know, all these things happen. Unlucky. Basically, you know, sometimes it is luck. Quite frequently Overwatch can come down to luck. Just look at Hanzo. There's an issue to talk about there with Hanzo, but I'll try to resist going on to a third rambling tangent at this point. So she's dead. Not anymore. Haha, undone. Though Junkrat, Junkrat is not necessarily a high skill play to pick somebody off, right? Not necessarily. So Genji's asleep over here. We're trying to heal the Ana through this. Oh, fucking hell, spooky. He's still over here, but he's still low HP. Missed us with the flashbang. We get to kill him. We are agonizingly close to having our res cooldown and Valkyrie, but neither was quite close enough to res the people that were dead over there. We have Valkyrie now. And we decide to use it here, basically just to heal people. Like, I don't think we even res anybody off of this Valkyrie. We do use it here. Yeah, we basically use it, like, to make sure we get the point, basically. I don't think this is necessary. Like, the fight looks so one-sided by that point that I don't think it's necessary to use Valkyrie, because I'm pretty confident you take that point regardless. Especially since Genji also started using Dragon Blade at the same time. I don't think the Valkyrie was necessary. I think we could have just saved it for this next push in here. But by the same, you can also make the argument, well, if I use it here, we definitely get this checkpoint. So, there's an argument to be made both ways. So, we've got a lot of people dead right now. We come in here trying to res somebody. I don't think we should even try, because if we res them, what happens, really? Like, what happens if we res them? Do we continue moving forward with any kind of momentum? No, like, the person has to immediately retreat while we wait for our team to regroup, because most people are still dead. So, we shouldn't even really try in that position, because, what happens if we do res someone, really? And just because you can, doesn't mean you should. So, their Tracer is dead right now. They don't have a Mercy, so they get to be upset that they don't get to just undo the pick immediately, like we do, because we have a Mercy. They just have a statistically lower chance of winning right now, because they can't match our utility. They also, like, have barely had a healer the entire time, so, like, it feels bad to be them, basically. And basically, we are still just playing Mercy, where, like, we are very far back, and, you said in your email that, you think a problem is that you, play too selflessly. I don't know that that's necessarily true from watching this replay. Like, I've seen you play before, and, like, honestly, I thought, like, how involved in the game you were was, like, one of the better things about you, really. So I don't feel like, I also don't think that the new Mercy necessarily encourages a more selfish playstyle. Less so, like, the old Mercy was like the zenith of selfish play, really. Not so much anymore. I don't think, whatever. I don't feel like you played that, from watching this game, I don't feel like it was that selfless, cause we're really far back a lot of the time. The enemy team has a lot of trouble actually, like, getting to us in a lot of these situations. And, it also helps we haven't been getting pressured very heavily, either. Because the enemy team is kind of struggling with that in a lot of regards right now. So we're not really being pressured, which gives us a lot more freedom in how we play, basically. But, like, we're really far back, and it's really hard for them to see us. And this is, like, the first time we've even gotten hacked by an imp. So, like, so it is an overtime, also, now. We just res this person and use Valkyrie, and, like, we're already winning this fight. And we were involved in the fight, but it felt like we were gonna win regardless, because I didn't feel like we necessarily needed to have that much input in that fight for it to go our way, really. It wasn't that hard, because the enemy team was kinda bad, weren't they? So Junkrat got played the game, which is not terribly unusual these days. Oh, look at that. Reinhardt's probably upset about that one. I know he was upset about this one because he tried to fire strike the tire and it didn't work. In your email you said, like, basically you were, like, wanted, like, a kind of, feedback on how to use Res and how to use Valkyrie. I mean, Res is basically, like, the only type of Res that exists anymore is the tempo Res, so it's kinda, like, as long as it isn't an obviously terrible situation to res somebody into, I think it's right in most situations to just res the person. As long as they aren't likely to immediately die afterwards, I think that's basically right to res them every time. There's, like, the argument why, if it looks like we're gonna win the fight and we could res this person, we should probably not res the person if we're gonna win anyway, because we can just let that person walk back and save the res cooldown in case we need it. But then you can also attach that, well, if we have Valkyrie at the same time, there's a lot of modifiers you can attach to Mercy, which can, impact how you think about what you should play. And this is, like, the skill involved in Mercy, right? Because you're like, oh, Mercy's such an easy hero to play. You have to think about a lot of things very quickly, right? Like, you have to weigh a lot of options in your mind. Like, yeah, Mercy's not hard to play mechanically, but, like, you have to play very cautiously so you don't get killed. You have to play around, like, keeping yourself alive, and you have to weigh these things in your mind very quickly also. Like, it's all well and good watching it in a replay and being like, hey, there's this thing, if we res Roadhog here, we don't know what's going on in the cat. Like, it's all well and good, like, analyzing it, like, 20 steps out, but, like, in the middle of the game, it's just like, well, that guy died, we're down a man, we don't want to be down a man, like, it's hard to think about all these things in the moment. Valkyrie, I think, is, like, kind of, it's Valkyrie's kind of complicated in how necessarily to use it. I mean, I think it's the kind of thing, I think Valkyrie itself is strong enough where you basically, it's like Nano Boost, where you basically want to use it as quickly as possible. Because the sooner you use it, the sooner you can be working on your next Valkyrie. And like, you use it and that's 20 seconds of being incredibly strong. I think it's I think that a lot of people get kind of too greedy with it, where they think in their mind, well, I could res, alt, res, and then res 2 more people. I think there are a lot of situations where just alting to res 1 person because your cooldown is up, like just reset it, res 1 person is fine. And then there are situations where I think you don't even necessarily need to res anybody at the start at all. Like just the strength from Valkyrie itself is enough to like win a team fight. It's difficult to say. Because, I mean, you know, there's a lot of modifiers you can attach to a situation for Mercy, but like, try not to be too greedy with it, basically. I think of it very similarly to how I think about Nano Boost, which is just, this is an incredibly powerful ultimate. So really I should just be looking to use it as many times during a game as possible. Because, well, that's kind of how, like, all ultimates work. I always thought Mercy's ultimate was this way in general, like, even when it was just Resurrect. I always thought it was the kind of, still an ultimate that you want to use as many times as possible, because, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, statistically, if you ult more times than the enemy team, you probably win the game. More often than not, anyway. And, like, Valkyrie's very strong. So, basically, I think just, like, don't be too greedy with it. Is basically, like, the best advice I would have for it, because, like, it's very easy to be like, I've done this. Like, don't get me wrong, I've done this, where I've been like, I could res 4 people, though, if I wait. Like, I start, like, old Mercy starts kicking in, where I'm like, but if I wait, right, if I let more people die, I could res more people. I don't think that we should think about Mercy that way anymore, right? Because, I mean, that was the thing with res before. It's like, well, I should hold on to my ultimate because I have, like, I should not res this one person because I can maybe res 4 people in a minute if I let them all die, right? I don't think we should think about it that way anymore. I think we should just be like, Valkyrie's really strong. I should try and use it as many times during a game as possible. You know, this is a new change. We'll see. We don't, you know, that's for the eggheads in the lab to decide, not me, because, I've never been particularly good at min-maxing every little thing about a character. I like to focus more just on, like, the practical element of it. Really, like, cause it's like, well, you know, if I, like, punch, if I'm playing Winston, I punch right before I land, that's like a 2% uptick in DPS against armored target. I don't give a shit. Like, maybe I should just not jump on the armored target instead, right? And then maybe this doesn't even come up. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful, or just, you know, something entertaining, insightful. Oh, something. God, it was, oh.